Guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Cereal at Midnight. My name is Heath, and as I hold up this colossal tower of physical media, it was so tall it was blocking out the light for the thumbnail. I had to like lean in so the light was actually touching me. That's where we're at. Monolithic towers of physical media here at Cereal at Midnight. Guys, we're going to cover a lot of new releases. This is going to be one of those big new release super shows. I try to do them about once a month, and this is going to be this month's version of this video. We got Imprint, we've got Arrow, we've got 88 Films, Eureka, stuff from Alpha Video, which I'm so glad to be covering, because if you've been watching my videos with Brian Cray from Alpha Video, one of the coolest guys ever. So let's just get started with it. Let's kick it off with Imprint, right? Because Imprint is a great place to start, because it's such a prestigious / collectible label. You know what? Before I go any further, here, that's a tease, right? We're going to start out with these Lewis Allen, this 2-pack of Lewis Allen movies. Imprint sent this over. I don't know how many of these they made. I don't know how many of these they sent out to people. I think this is just one of those like, hey, thanks kind of a thing. But you know, I've covered all three. They did a sort of a promotion. They sent out a poster with the first 300 releases. Imprint has passed now 300 titles, and I've covered every single one of them here. And I don't know how many YouTube faces can say that they've covered every single Imprint release so far, and we continue, because I think in this video we're going up through 319, numbers 319. So they sent this over. This is a t-shirt. It's an Imprint t-shirt. It's classy v-neck, right? And it's got on the back the first 300 releases. So I wanted to publicly acknowledge it. Did that show up really well for you guys? I'll scroll it so you can see all of them. All right. I just thought it was really cool of them. So you'll probably see this pop up on my person in future videos, but it was nice little gesture, because I've covered them all, right? So we've talked about every single one of those. This is, you know, there's a lot of cool stuff in this stack we're going to talk about. This might be my favorite. This might be the one that I'm the most excited about. This is it's like a, pardon me, it's two films, The Uninvited and The Unseen, in a sort of a box set. Sort of a Lewis Allen box set. And these films are, 1943? Hold on. It's 1944 and 1945. I was trying to think what there's usually some sort of, not always, but usually some sort of a loose theming throughout these Imprints. They don't even call them waves. I call them waves. I mean, it's like a month's worth of releases, but there's often some connective tissue. Every one of these movies we're going to talk about is a lower budget, I will go as far as to say Poverty Row production. Even the one, you know what? Here's an overview. The Woman Who Came Back, The Queen of Spades, Catacombs, The Man Who Haunted Himself, which is Roger Moore, right before, it's a couple of years before Bond. Might seem like it's a larger production. This was like a $400,000 movie. And Black Moon. So all of these fall under the banner of like a Republic Pictures or a British Lion film production or Columbia Pictures, lower budget cinema. So The Uninvited and The Unseen are two very cool movies that they have. I'm going to have to speed up, guys. We got so much ground to cover. Ray Milland, Ruth Hussey, Donald Crisp, and this has Joel McCrea, Gail Russell, Herbert Marshall. The features on these are fantastic. So we've got, for The Uninvited, 1080p 2K restoration, audio commentary by Alan K. Rohde. Hold on, they've got an audio commentary by Noir Expert and Film Noir Foundation board member. I'm not sure I've seen that qualification before his name before. I put Alan K. Rohde on the Mount Rushmore of film historians, really. I've talked at length about, I really want to do an interview with him, but when I do that interview, I want to make sure that I have done all my research, done all my homework, so I can show up for that. The Uninvited and the Female Gothic is a video essay by Kat Ellinger. Gail Russell, The Flame That Burned Twice as Bright, is an interview with critic Imogen Sarah Smith. That's brand new. Both of those features are brand new. 2 original radio adaptations starring Ray Milland. Actually, it's Ray Milland. It's Milland, but I've always said Milan. Lady Astor's Screen Guild play with Ruth Hussey and Betty Field from 1944, and then from 1949, Screen Directors Playhouse with director Lewis Allen. That brings us to The Unseen, which has a 2K scan, another commentary by Alan K. Rhodey, and Gothic Noir, The Unseen Touch of Henry James. That's a video essay by Imogen Sarah Smith and Max Every. I've told the story before. I ran into Max Every in Dark Delicacies in Los Angeles, and he was like, "Yeah, you're the guy." And since then, we've been talking a little bit. He wrote a book about David Lynch's Dune that I'm currently working my way through. So it's cool to get to know these people and to see. I gotta tell you, the work that goes into these releases behind the scenes. I know, like on a piece of paper, they're considered value-added material, a special feature or a bonus feature. Months of work goes into these. Maybe in some cases even years, actually. We're just going to tackle these a little bit out of order because it doesn't matter, right? This is Jack Holt and Fay Wray in Black Moon. So this is actually, it's light on features. It has 2 versions. You can watch the black and white version or the version where specific scenes were tinted. So this is a 1934 film. That's something that goes back to the silent days, is a movie might be tinted to have, like, oh, this is green, this scene is green, this scene is orange, this scene is, whatever. Something that would add a little bit of character to the black and white image, which I always thought was interesting. And other than that, there's no commentary or anything like that. Yeah, I should hold these up for you guys so you get a better idea of what the movie, they take the time to put these inner inserts in here. I should show you the 2-sided inserts. So this is The Uninvited with Ray Milland. We are also, I don't know if it's just the way timing has worked out, is The Unseen. There's a lot of gothic stuff happening right now. Crimson Peak from Guillermo del Toro came out on 4K. There's multiple gothic box sets that are arriving, and then you got something like this. There's just a moment happening for a certain kind of, of heightened gothic cinema. The Man Who Haunted Himself, Roger Moore, I believe, considers this to be his favorite movie of what he was of his own films. It's interesting because it's about, as you know from the title, if you haven't seen this has had distribution, I think in the U.S. from Kino Lorber put this out a while back. I know I've got it somewhere in my collection. It's like for precognitions of death or whatever. He's haunting himself. And it's got a car accident involved, in the story. And the director, a year after this movie was made, died in a car accident. Also, this was adapted for an episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents. So, interesting stuff there. Again, kind of a snapshot of where Roger Moore was in his career before The Persuaders, before Live and Let Die, before Bond, but of course after some of his more popular television work. We got a booklet here, guys. This is like the press book, a miniature version of the press book, which I think is really cool. Anytime they throw in these physical goodies, like a booklet, or I love that. Audio commentary by Roger Moore and writer-producer, uncredited writer-producer Brian Forbes. Moderated by journalist Jonathan Softcott. Audio commentary by Jonathan Rigby and Kevin Lyons. The Man Who Became a Friend, biographer, talent agent Gareth Owen on Sir Roger Moore. That's new. The Men Who Were Haunted, interview with actor Freddie Jones and the production crew. Alfred Hitchcock Presents The Case of Mr. Pelham. That's the Alfred Hitchcock Presents episode that I was just telling you about. It's here, which is awesome. With actor... hold on. Okay. Roger Moore, I got tangled up. Roger Moore, A Masterclass. It's a documentary. Isolated score by Michael J. Lewis, theatrical trailer, and then the mini reproduction of the press book. So, fantastic release. Catacombs. This is the Eagle Lion Productions film, right? I believe that, and at this point, it's been absorbed into Studio Canal. But these are, I say what production company they're from because sometimes that will give you a hint at like, oh, that's, Eagle Lion had a partnership deal with Republic Pictures in the 1940s, and you know I love Republic Pictures. So Eagle Lion comes out of Britain, and Republic Pictures is obviously a United States company, Poverty Row outfit, very low budget films, but I mean prolific, right? They kind of partnered together to, help further distribute the movies that they made. They've got a 4K restoration, audio commentary by Jonathan Rigby and Kevin Lyons. Marrow on Merrill, that's an interview with actress Jane Marrow. The Glenn Miller story, it's not spelled like the big band leader Glenn Miller. The Glenn Miller story is an interview with continuity supervisor Renee Glenn and sound editor Colin Miller. Martelli and Martel, that's an interview with the composer Carlo Martelli. They've got a still gallery. This is very much what we're talking about here. I'm not talking a whole lot about the movies, frankly, for several reasons. In multiple cases, I haven't watched it yet, or if I have, it's distant. There's obviously no way to watch all of this stuff before I make these videos for you. But keep your eyes peeled on my Letterboxd page, or better yet, CerealAtMidnite.com, because when I've got something to say about a movie, I write about it. I have things to say. The Queen of Spades is another. I'm trying to remember if this is Studio Canal, so this must be another British production. One of these is Republic Pictures. In fact, is it The Woman Who Came Back? Oh, I don't know, because some of the movies that are owned by Paramount, I believe in the U.S., might be owned by a different company in England or Europe, or where, Australia, Imprint is Australian. They license movies from different parts of the world. So The Queen of Spades is a 1949 film, and this is loaded, guys. 4K restoration, audio commentary by Pamela Hutchinson, audio commentary by film historian Nick Pinkerton, introduction by Martin Scorsese. I don't think that's our first Scorsese reference for this, or our last Scorsese reference for this video either. Luck of the Cards, a previously unreleased interview with actor Michael Medwin. Anna Bogutskaya plays the Queen of Spades. The Nightmare People, director Thorold Dickinson on Saturday Night at the Movies, an analysis of the film by Philip Horn. Archival interview with Thorold Dickinson from 1951, another from 1968. Load it up! So I'm very grateful for these special features because I know what goes into them. Having done about a dozen commentaries now, I know the work that goes into special features. And I talk to these, Republic Pictures. I talk to the people that make this stuff now too. And it's a labor of love, but don't underestimate the labor involved with that love. This is a 1945 film that has 4K restoration from 2023. We got a commentary by Kelly Robinson. We've got Portraits of the Past, David Huckvale on Woman Who Came Back. Haunted by the Witch, From Salem to Ibn Rock, video essay by Joseph Dwyer. Oh. So that's going to conclude the Imprint coverage, but I just want to make sure that I say thanks to Imprint, for Vivision Imprint, for sending this stuff for me to talk to you guys about. It means a lot to me that I've covered over 300 Imprint titles, including the Imprint television releases like Space 1999 and all the stuff that they've got coming out very soon. Very, very excited about it. Let's transition to some Arrow releases. Mute Witness, a movie that I remember from the video store days. This was a very striking cover. When you saw this peeking out at you from the video store shelf, it got your attention. It does have, we've got a reversible art wrap with this new art here, and this is a 4K. I think both of these, we're going to talk about Mute Witness and American Gigolo, and both of these are 4K releases. Now, in the case of both of them, I believe, there is no Blu-ray here. You choose Blu-ray or 4K, and all the special features are going to be on the 4K disc. 4K restoration, approved by the director, Anthony Waller. We've got, here, hold that up for you guys. Brand new audio commentary by the writer-director Anthony Waller. Brand new audio commentary by the production designer Matthias Kemmermeyer and composer Wilbert Hirsch, moderated by Lee Gambin. Rest in peace, Lee Gambin. It's so interesting how hard he worked. He's not here, and his work, there's still things coming out that Lee Gambin is involved with. is inspiring. He was what he was able to accomplish was literally, it inspired me. It made me want to push myself further. The Silent Death, brand new visual essay by Alexandra Heller Nicholas, examining Mute Witness and its relationship with snuff films. The Wizard Behind the Curtain, a brand new visual essay by Chris Alexander, exploring the phenomenon of the film. Original snuff movie presentation produced to generate interest from investors and distributors, featuring interviews with Anthony Waller and members of the creative team. Original footage with Alec Guinness, filmed a decade prior to the rest of Mute Witness. Teaser trailer, reversible sleeve with the new artwork. And then we've got a collector's booklet here and a poster. I showed you the reversible artwork. That's the one this is their advertising Lover's Lane. And our booklet features Seen But Not Heard, a brief exploration of mute women in film by Michelle Kisner. And then about the restoration is the final page here. So lots and lots of stuff here. It's co-produced by Lee Gambin with Michael McKenzie. And then another, this is literally huge. This is a thick release. This is American Gigolo. This is a hefty release. I like the way this is done too. This has this, sometimes we just get this box. This has this slipcover that goes over it. I like that. I like this slipcover. Sort of an O-card situation. And American Gigolo. It's that Richard Gere movie with themes of there's so much going on. 4K remaster from the original camera negative done by Arrow. So anytime Arrow does a 4K restoration, that means that's it for the 4K. Like if you want to get my understanding is they retain the rights to that 4K restoration, so it doesn't go back to the studio. It's only on this disc. It's not going to be on the digital version or the streaming version or whatever. Here, let me hold this up so you have something to look at here. Brand new audio commentary by film critic Adrian Martin. A brand new interview with Paul Schrader, writer-director Paul Schrader. 6 Ways to Sunday. A brand new interview with Hector Elizondo on detecting his character. The Business of Pleasure. A brand new interview with Bill Duke on Leon's profession. Montages and Monologues. A brand new interview with editor Richard Halsey on putting American Gigolo together. The Nonconformist. That's an interview with a camera operator. Man Machine. A brand new interview with a music supervisor. American Icon. A new interview with Professor Jennifer Clark on American Gigolo and the fashion landscape of the 80s. Reversible art sleeve. I think there's a ton of stuff, right? Ton of stuff. Here's the cards. By the way, again, 4K, no Blu-ray, reversible art, has, I didn't flip the art around. That's the classic art. That's the art that I love. So let me flip that. Art card. Art card. I just realized there's an opportunity here to promote myself. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. I showed you the back of the art card. I showed you this. This is on the back of all of them. That is the sort of miniature lobby card / photo card. I did a commentary for the Australian release of Red Corner, which is a Richard Gere movie that Umbrella put out. And it's not limited to my knowledge. It's just a studio picture that they're releasing in Australia. And I did a lot of research on Richard Gere, so if you want to know my thoughts, not on this movie, but on another Richard Gere movie, check out my commentary on Red Corner. Come on. And this book, check out that art. A lot of stuff here. Some Richard Gere cheesecake. It's great. Great stuff here. I'm happy that these movies are getting 4K restorations. Everything. These videos reach everybody. They reach all sorts of people. They reach the DVD collectors and the 4K collectors and the Blu-ray collectors. And those groups don't tend to cohabitate. It's cool to me that these movies get 4K releases, because 4Ks represent a new conversation about that movie. Because American Gigolo is getting a 4K release, people are going to be watching it and talking about it that would not have before. It puts movies back on the table, which is a weird thing to say, because I know Blu-ray, DVD sells the most, Blu-ray sells second best, and 4K is trailing behind considerably. But 4K represents an opportunity for people that were not going to watch that on Blu-ray or DVD to watch it and start talking about it. So that's one of the things, I love that. And I've talked to people that produce the 4Ks, and it's the best version of that movie. I think that's really cool that we're in a time where not obvious choices are getting 4K releases. Not obvious choices are getting Blu-ray releases too, like Sonny Chiba, anticipating saying Beast Fighter. Sonny Chiba as the Beast Fighter in these two films, Karate Bullfighter and Karate Bear Fighter. Now, I have not seen these movies. Martial arts cinema. Now, of course, I know Sonny Chiba. I've never seen these Sonny Chiba movies. We're going to embark on like a whole martial arts section here. I haven't seen the movies, and I know probably a lot of you guys have, so we can talk about it in the comments below. This is coming from Eureka. It's a beautiful presentation, and there's a lot of stuff here too, so I'll let you guys appreciate that. Limited edition O-card featuring new artwork by J.J. Harrison, 1080p presentation of both films, Japanese mono, new restorations from the film elements by Toei, optional English dub for Karate Bullfighter, optional English subtitles, brand new feature-length audio commentaries on both films by Mike Leader and Arn Venema, In Search of the Ultimate Truth, a brand new video essay by Jonathan Clemens, author of A Brief History of the Martial Arts, alternative Champion of Death opening credits, optional theatrical trailer, booklet, and a partridge in a pear tree. I love the reversible art options for this. First of all, they're on 2 discs. I even like that. I like the presentation of this. Check out the like, how do you got all 3 of that? You got that piece, you got that piece, you got that piece. Let's check out this booklet. You guys realize we just live in a video store now, right? That's the point of all of this, isn't it? Is we just live in a video store. At great cost, but we have, with the death of the video store, we've just brought the video store to us. Now, having not seen this, does he really punch animals? Or is it movie magic? What? That's the whole thing, like the great tradition of bear wrestling and all that stuff. This is a good opportunity to talk about my video for the Street Fighter films, the Street Fighter box set that Shout Factory put out years ago, and also the Sister Street Fighter collection. I did a video about both of those, so maybe I've popped them up here. If not, you can search, go to the search bar, right? CerealAtMidnite, Street Fighter. And you probably might also get the Street Fighter II, the movie with Van Damme. This is also from Eureka. This is The Miracle Fighters. It's got Yun Wu Ping's Magical Martial Arts Fantasy. Let's see. Limited edition O-card slipcover featuring art by Darren Wheeling. It's good too. I like that. I like the use of color. And it looks kind of like a horror thing. And I guess I know it's fantasy, but it looks kind of horrific. Almost looks like the back of a pinball machine. I've been playing a lot of digital pinball lately. This feels like 90s or 2000s era pinball to me. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. We've got a Blu-ray of the original Hong Kong theatrical cut from a 2K restoration, original Cantonese mono, audio. Brand new audio commentary by Frank Jang. I love Frank Jang's commentaries. Brand new audio commentary by action cinema experts Mike Leader and Arn Venema. There they are again. Axiomaster, an interview with Yuen Wu Ping. Archival interview with Frederick Ambrosine, who he did like in the martial arts sphere. The Frederick Ambrosine did like a ton of journalism about the genre over the years. I'm glad that that's here. At the Service of the Great Magician, an interview with Fish Fong. The Shakespeare of Yuen Wu Ping, an interview with John Crane. Reversible sleeve. Let's check that out. There we go. And here is our booklet. You guys see Arrow announced Shawscope Volume 3. I don't know how even people that are diehard martial arts fans, you're having to pick and choose, right? There's no way we can get all of this. Or is there? I don't know. I mean, Arrow put out, I think I said in my wrap-up of 2023, I think I was like, Arrow put out like 60 martial arts films over the course of the year, and that was just one company. And then we have all the stuff from 88 Films, all the stuff from Eureka, who's now serving the US as well as the UK. It's a great time to be a fan of this stuff, but again, like, it's like when it rains it pours. There's so much of it. How are people keeping up with all this stuff? From Eureka as well, part of the Masters of Cinema collection, The Valiant Ones. This is a what year is this film? Why did I choose now to decide to ask what year it is? Let's see. We got a limited edition O-card with artwork by Gregory Sacre. 4K Ultra HD presentation. It's 4K. And let's see. Of the original camera negatives. Restored from original camera negatives. Uncompressed Mandarin mono. Brand new audio commentary by Frank Jang. Tony Raines on The Valiant Ones. I could listen to Tony Raines talk about this stuff for hours, and that's often what you get. You get Tony Raines for like an hour talking about stuff. Knows his stuff like crazy. Let's see. Brand new interview with critic Tony Raines. Czar of Wuxia. Brand new video essay by David Cairns. The Life of a Lucky Stuntman. A brand new interview with Billy Chan. My Father and I. Brand new interview with actor Ng Ming Choi. Memories of Who. Archival 2003 interview with Roger Garcia by Frederick Ambrosine. Archival 2003 interview with actress Xu Feng by Frederick Ambrosine again. 2016 interview with Ng Ming Choi by Frederick Ambrosine. And a collector's booklet featuring new writing on the film by Jonathan Clements. So let's do that. Was there... Yes. Interesting, though. This feels like it should be an inner art wrap, but it's a black case. I mean, I know it's 4K, and you want to lean into the 4K of it all, right? So here's the book. All right. That concludes Eureka. Now, let's talk about 88 Films. And the Inspector Wears Skirts 3. Now, I do not recall. Did we talk about 1 and 2? I honestly don't remember. Maybe we did. I'm going to have to dig through my... You know what? Inspector Wears Skirts 2. So now I just have to find if we talked about Inspector Wears Skirts 1. You are witnessing the problem, right? And I'm not complaining. You're witnessing the problem. There was like, I can no longer keep track of all the stuff that's coming out because it's just like a mountain of martial arts and of horror and of Euro cinema and of like Euro crime. Whatever it is that we love, there is more of it than we're going to be able to have time to watch or money to afford or space to store. The problem is real, you guys. You're seeing it happen. I'm looking at this stack. I'm like, is Inspector Wears Skirts 1 in there? I don't see it. Anyway, that was 2. This is 3. This is for 88 Films. They do good work. I mean, I'm so grateful that they are serving. It's another UK-based company, right? That has reached out and partnered with a US distributor to serve both markets. We have it's a 2K remaster from the original camera negative. Original Cantonese mono, audio commentary by Frank Jang, deleted scene, Hong Kong trailer reversible art wrap with new artwork by Sean Longmore and the original Hong Kong poster art. Oh, so you've seen the other. I don't have to take that out. You've seen the other art. I'll pull this poster out though, so you can get a gauge on how big it is, the size of it all. Okay. But wait, Inspector Wears Skirts 4. So you got 3 and 4 in this 1 month haul. Same thing here. We've got 2K remaster from original camera negatives, commentary by Frank Jang, Hong Kong trailer still gallery, new art by Sean Longmore, and the original Hong Kong poster art. I mean, it's beautiful art. Oh, half sheet style. But wait, there's more. If you did not catch the... Oh, it's out of frame. The Call of Duty 1 through 4 box set from 88 Films. I made a whole video, a dedicated video about the Call of Duty box set. So all 4 of the films, watch them. These have been released individually. They're still in their shrink wrap because I have the box set with all 4. So these may go in sort of a contest or giveaway. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these yet, but I just want you to know that these are available individually now. If you did not get the box set, if you didn't want the box set, I don't know. I will say the first 2 movies are very different from the second 2 movies. I like the first 2 movies more. From Radiance, check out my interview with Radiance founder Fran Simeone. He came from Arrow, started his own company, and he told me in my interview with him that he was going to be putting out movies that were just his favorite movies and maybe that a lot of people hadn't heard of. And by golly, he was not playing around. He continues to mine the depths of catalogs for films that I have no awareness of whatsoever. So kudos to his film fandom. This is Bandits of Orgosolo. This is an Italian film from 1961. A Sardinian peasant is suspected of murder following an encounter with bandits. In order to survive, he has no option but to turn to banditry himself. Here we go. Admired by Scorsese and Pasolini, Vittorio De Seta received acclaim for his first feature, which continues the tradition of Visconti and De Sica with his own style and rhythms. Good, like high prestige cinema is what it is. This is art house cinema, essentially, for what it is. Blu-ray limited edition special features. It's a new 4K restoration from the original camera negative. We've got a new interview with a cinematographer, new interview with curator, trailers. And I love... Oh, by the way, we always get booklets in these Radiance titles. And again, this is art house cinema. This is cinema as a cinema with something to say, which I champion because I don't always want to eat a candy bar. Sometimes I want a meal. I love that artwork. I will be reversing that. And we got one more from Radiance here. This is Sympathy for the Underdog. This is a Yakuza film, Japanese Yakuza film from 1971. Is this a world Blu-ray premiere? World Blu-ray premiere. Returning from a 10-year prison sentence, former gang leader Gunji Tsuruta, a big-time gambling boss, finds that his turf has been taken over by his former enemy, now a large crime syndicate. Looking for new opportunities, he gathers his old crew and heads for the island of Okinawa. This is the beginning of Kinji Fukusaka's streak of 1970s Yakuza movie masterpieces. Sympathy for the Underdog is a key film in the development of this director's unique style and themes. We've got an audio commentary by Nathan Stewart, interview with Oliver Haducci, visual essay by Aaron Garau, either one, I'm sorry for not knowing. Trailer and a booklet, reversible sleeve. All right. Hard turn here. Film Masters, who I freaking love. Freaking love Film Masters. Film Masters has, what you see here, because I was going to reference my interview with the founder of Film Masters, what you see here is that I've been very blessed and fortunate to have had an opportunity to talk to the people at many of these labels to see how they do what they do, to get us a peek behind the scenes and to bring that to you. So please do check out my interview with Film Masters. But this is exciting for me because this is Film Masters partnering with Something Weird. You know, I was talking about this. Where was I talking about this? I might have talked about this in a video here. And if I have, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. But Something Weird is going through. Oh, I think maybe it was in my Kino Lorber spotlight last time. That's it, right? Because they did a burlesque double feature. Something Weird. Basically the founder of the company has passed away, and his widow has been juggling all of this massive catalog for a long time, and has kind of come to the end of like, I don't want to do this anymore. So Something Weird is partnering with all of these amazing labels, including Film Masters. And so this was a Something Weird 2-pack, a double feature, a Something Weird double feature. It was DVD. I think I might even have it somewhere still, because there's Something Weird double feature. If there's anything from Something Weird, like, you kept it, right? It was like this underground sort of like, oh, you know, like it was almost like a not a rite of passage, but like it was evidence of a subculture. It was not to be taken lightly. It was not disposable. So the fact that we're getting this with a much, much larger distribution, it's great. This is the Backwoods double feature. Common Law Wife, Jenny Wife/Child. These are exploitation movies. Hicksploitation is what we would call them. And so much so that archival commentary for Common Law Wife with director Larry Buchanan, interviewed by Nathaniel Thompson of Mondo Digital. New commentary for Common Law Wife by film programmer, writer, and host of I Saw What You Did movie podcast, Millie DiChirico, and Turner Classic Movie film programmer Ben Cheeves. But here, hold on. Another new commentary for Jenny Wife and Child by Millie DiChirico. That's Hicksploitation, The Origin of Southern Cinema, a new documentary from Ballyhoo Motion Pictures. Now, I've talked to Ballyhoo. It's Daniel Griffith and his team, which often includes C. Courtney Joyner. Both of them have been here multiple times. I love what they do. I would put what Daniel does and Courtney Joyner as well, what they do against any sort of scholarship. I mean, it's special features. They're documentaries that you can really sink your teeth into. And the team that works on these things for Film Masters is they know what they're talking about. They have one foot in, I want to say academia, but I know that scares some people off because you're like, well, if it's a Something Weird video presentation, there should be nothing approaching academia. No, it's okay to think about this stuff. It's okay to have opinions. See my video about turn off your brain and just enjoy it. Shut off your brain and just enjoy it. You don't have to. You can think about it. And you know what? It holds up to whatever if you want to critique it, if you want to like, well, what does that mean? You know, what am I supposed to take from this Hicksploitation? What are they saying about the southern states? What are they saying about, like, there's things to talk about here, but you can't talk about it if you've disconnected your brain. I love that the people responsible for these special features are engaged in the thing they're talking about, and it's not just like a cursory, like, I went to IMDb and I looked up some names and I'm going to read those names to you. What a waste of time. But there's a lot of special features that's what they are. It's people reading IMDb to you. That's not what this is. Backwoods Babes, Mean Old Men, and Simple-Minded Studs, an essay by Lisa Petrucci of Something Weird Video. This is the transition, right? This is Lisa Petrucci, passing the torch off. Restored 1963 trailer for Common Law Wife and a new 2024 trailer for Jenny Wife and Child. We have, but did I mention, they're both on their own disc as well. This is the 2 Blu-ray double pack right here. And we have extensive liner notes from Lisa Petrucci. What's amazing to me is that Film Masters does this every single month. Now, logic would dictate that you can't keep up that I mean, I don't know. Like, how long can they keep this up? For a long time, apparently, because they're continuing to crank these out, and they are all great. So I love it. It's like it's the high quality presentation of what has largely been considered low cinema, low art. I love. It makes me happy. These are movies that have been talked about and like commentated over and made fun of, and I love what Film Masters does, because they legitimize things that have been dismissed. And that's kind of my thing. It's kind of my jam, baby. This is going to be notable to you guys, and I know it's not October yet, but we're talking about a new release of Witch's Night Out with The Gift of Winter. So if you're like, what is that? So the Witch's Night started with The Gift of Winter. That was the first story. The Gift of Winter was, what is the copyright year on this? 1978 for Witch's Night Out. Anyway, it's Gilda Radner and Dan Aykroyd, and I believe The Gift of Winter predates Saturday Night Live. I think it was 74, I want to say, for The Gift of Winter. And it's very psychedelic. I mean, you can just imagine, right? It's very psychedelic because it's the 70s. I would also reference you to Halloween is Grinch Night, which is another, like, it's like the Grinch, but psychedelic. See, now Dr. Seuss is already psychedelic, but more so. I can see Cheech and Chong watching these things, including The Gift of Winter and Witch's Night Out. They are incredibly colorful. They have fallen off the radar. I've got both of these on DVD around here somewhere. Now they've both been issued on a single DVD. I don't know the whole story. I have put in what I hope will make this happen, but an interview with the people that are kind of responsible for getting this back, copyrighted, retained, back into print. And I would like to get the story. So we'll be talking more about this closer to Halloween, probably. It's interesting that this is coming out in the month, really June. June of 2024 is when this is hitting. But that gives you plenty of time to get it before Halloween. It's just weird and fun and cool. Like, if you grew up, I know I'm talking to people that know this, but if you don't know this, in the 70s, it was a different world. Even in the 80s, it was a different world. And you saw these things maybe one night a year, and then maybe you only saw them once, and they were gone, These are just really interesting holiday specials that have largely fallen off the radar. But as one of the things that I'm very passionate about is preservation, and it's been preserved. So that's great. We'll hope to talk more about that in the future. I'm going to wind us down here, close us out with some Alpha video coverage. I think one of the cool things that I've been able to witness is you guys connecting with Brian Cray from Alpha Video. I mean, I got to connect with him too, right? I bought like 300, it's closer to 400 Western DVDs via Alpha Video. It was someone's collection. They had been amassing these Alpha Videos, Westerns, still sealed, and I guess they died. Because I got them from an estate sale company. And then that opened the door to talk to Brian Cray from Alpha Video. He's like, well, I didn't work on any of that stuff. I've been with the company for a decade. I didn't work on any of that. Let's talk about what I worked on. This is what he worked on. By the way, check out my video with Brian talking about basically a life in fandom, a life in geekdom. Talk about our comics love. We talk about how the movies, all these, when Marvel and when DC are these huge titanic brands that dominate the box office, maybe not so much now, but they did until recently, how little of the comics that they're based on are actually in the stories. You can tell, like, okay, who that directed these movies and starred in these movies actually read the comics? Not many, apparently, because they've just, okay, this character's been around for 70 years, but let's just invent something new. Nay. We have things to say about that. So check that video out. You know what? I have gotten ahead of myself. Okay. I have a couple of things that aren't Alpha Video here. I'll save those for the very end. For heaven's sake, this is Harold Lloyd. A lot of what you're going to see, I think all of what you're going to see, maybe there's one exception. Alpha Video is doing a lot of stuff with silent cinema right now, and I think part of that's probably because of copyright, because Alpha Video only does public domain releases or things that they've partnered with for the originals that they bring to disc, micro budget horror movies and things like that. But Harold Lloyd, you guys, that guy's going places. I think that Harold Lloyd might end up being a big deal if we think about it. It's so funny. I was just in Hollywood. Hey, every good story begins like that. But the traces of the 20s are still there if you know where to look. You know, I drove by the Jim Henson studio, which is in Charlie Chaplin's old studio building, which I'm sure that's probably why they wanted it, why Henson wanted to do it there, because like, well, it's Chaplin. Think about the good vibes on that location. But the history is still there. It's everywhere. It's all around you. West of Texas. This is one I'm particularly, my Westerns, right? Lost Treasures of the West. Dave Tex O'Brien and Jim Newell as the Texas Rangers. This is a 1940, what is the year for it? 1943. And then we've got a 1947 cartoon, The Mild West. So that's great. Lillian Gish, another silent film, The Greatest Question, directed by D.W. Griffith. I will say it again because I should, right? I've been to D.W. Griffith's grave in outside of Louisville, Kentucky. It's so weird. He's one of the biggest directors of all time, Intolerance and all these things, and he's just in the middle of the country in Kentucky. There he is, just in a church graveyard. Another silent film, Until They Get Me, by Frank Borzage. This is 1917. And one more. That Certain Thing. Viola Dana, Ralph Graves, by someone named Frank Capra. There was a Frank Capra title in the last Alpha Video Haul, like last month when we did this. And we just got a Frank Capra film from Classic Flicks, restored on Blu-ray. So there's a lot of... This is the thing, like if you love film, I don't... Okay, physical media, right? We talk too much about the delivery system. You guys know this. I'm not telling you anything you haven't heard me talk about before. We talk so much about the delivery system, but we have cinema history at our fingertips. We have all these Frank Capra movies and like westerns and you name it. Martial arts movies. Like, okay, physical media, yeah, whatever. But okay, then you get to watch the movies, right? And there's things here that we've not really been able to talk about before, like we are right now. And I'm going to transition into VCI. We're going to close with VCI because I got my stuff out of order. This is a 10-chapter serial, Trail of the Royal Mounted. So you guys know I love my serials. I do like one Serials at Midnight a year just because it's all I have time for, because this stuff comes in so hot and heavy every month. When you've got, when you're covering, let's be realistic, about 100 releases a month, you don't have time to watch 10 episodes of a serial and make a dedicated video about it with screenshots and all that stuff. It just takes too much time. But I think I've done 4 serials at midnight, and I would like to do more of them. Maybe I need to find a way to talk about serials that isn't so time consuming, that doesn't require so much of me. This is all 10 chapters on 2 DVDs. I like that. The whole thing runs, what's the running time on this? 195 minutes. It's a 1931 production. That's very approachable. Some of these are like 15 chapters and they run 20 something minutes per chapter. This is approachable. And then I'm kind of glad this is the last thing we're talking about. When Cowboys Were King Collection 2. Now, somewhere I talked about Collection 1, but bringing these old 30s B-Westerns to disc. Some of these might have had a DVD release before. I'm honestly not sure, but I don't think I've got these. We got 2 from Buck Jones, who was, a great cowboy actor. Tragic end, noble end. Maybe I need to do a video about Buck Jones too. Rogue of the Range. We got Hoot Gibson, The Spirit of the West. Listen, come on, you guys. 1932 to 1938. For me, the 30s is... the 50s are the pinnacle for the Hollywood Western, because you've got, even the B-Westerns in the 1950s, even the lower budget stuff from Columbia, for whoever, have these incredible themes, the noir themes, the themes of, the wrestling with humanity, wrestling with darkness, that all the stuff that comes out of the war, comes out of the conflict over the last, that happened in the 40s. You get to the 50s, it's a whole thing, you guys, and it's a meal. It's a meal. But the 30s were the heyday for me for the B-Western because they just cranked them out. But there's something really fun. You know, I would reference you to my video about Gower Gulch. All this homework that I'm giving you guys, right? It's got a lot of homework to go learn more about this stuff. But it's cool that I can go like, hey, we've already talked about this. Go check it out. So one of the cool things about having been on this platform for, this is my 8th year, is that we've talked about a lot of what I wanted to talk about. In the 30s, you know, these cowboy pictures, they'd make them in a few days. And they have very thin plots, you know, and they're like 53 minutes long or something like that. But the authenticity of a lot of the people that were in these films, real cowboys, would come to Hollywood and they would stand, you know, at the corner of Gower and Sunset, and they would hope that they get a call, you know, hey, we need some extras for this scene. Now they're working. They go get fitted for wardrobe, and in some cases they would wear their cowboy gear there to Gower Gulch, which was at the corner, you know, I told you where it was. There'd be, you know, there's a coffee restaurant there, coffee shop there. There's a newsstand. They'd wear their duds, so they didn't even have to be fitted for costuming. They were ready to work. And maybe they make a few bucks that day. Authentic. That's the Hollywood that I love. That's the Hollywood that I think we've spent a lot of time talking about here. And listen, let's talk about the movies, man. I love that we have these movies in our collection. I love that we can collect these things and own these things, but it's all about the movies. It's all about the movies. Let's talk about the movies in the comments below. There's an Amazon affiliate link in the description of every single video that I post. You scroll under me. There's the you want a Cereal at Midnight t-shirt? Boom, you got it. That's where the link is. You want to go check out all of my reviews, my review archive with hundreds of movie reviews? Boom, it's in there. You want to click that Amazon link and support Cereal at Midnight with something you were already going to buy anyway? That's a way to do it as well. You can also subscribe to this channel, do those thumbs ups because they do help the algorithm, that mysterious, almighty, soul-sucking algorithm. The algorithm that will buy and sell us all, that's will raise high and level low. Whew, how do you get in the algorithm? I don't know, but you can help by doing the thumbs ups and by subscribing and by engaging, by leaving a comment. All those things help. Guys, thank you. These videos are long. They're intense, and we cover a lot of stuff. But if you enjoy them, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to know that you got something out of these. That, you know, I do these to show you what's coming out, because I know as a film fan, as a collector, being able to see what's coming out with my own eyes, being like, oh, that's what the poster looks like, that's what the special features are. That's a valuable service. So these are sort of a service video. If these are all you're watching from my channel, you should know I do a lot of other kinds of videos. I do constant interviews, as you've heard, with the people that make this stuff. I also like to do these deep dives on particular genres. So I've talked about Gene Autry, I've talked about cowboy pictures. We've talked about, you know, I did a video about martial arts. There's all these different things that are on the channel that are not associated with just like, hey, look at all this physical media. That's not all that I do here. And if that's all you're seeing, maybe check out some of my other stuff. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Till next time, I will catch you later.